friends, Chris back again, and this time I'm going to be talking about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Came out just a couple weeks ago, directed by James Mangold. We may know him from directing such timeless classics as Wolverine and Logan, and other things that I didn't bother to look up. But anyway, he directs this, hopefully, what will be the final installment of the Indiana Jones franchise. And I went and saw it in the theater with my oldest son today. And, I wasn't a fan of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I thought that was some contrived, silly, fantastical BS that Indiana Jones should not have been subjected to. I thought it was a ridiculous story and plot and some of the silliest, most fantastical set pieces of action I've ever seen, like swinging through the woods with monkeys and sword fighting between cars, and let's not forget the infamous let's blow him out of the nuclear town in a refrigerator. Get out of here with that crap. This ain't like that. Okay? So now the first, probably 30 to 45 minutes of the film are kind of flashback Indiana Jones. We get a de-aged Harrison Ford that looks really good, but sounds like a haggard old man. For all the good that they did with de-aging him and making him look like Indiana Jones of old, he still sounded like an 80-year-old dude. You would think with the deep fake and AI that they have now, they could have made his voice sound like he did, in The Last Crusade or Temple of Doom, still make him have that same cadence in his voice. This sounds like he smoked 12 pack of cigarettes back then. But that's that. Not a whole lot of... That's my only complaint about that, really. The next thing is we get a really good action set piece at the very beginning of the film, and my only complaint with that is it looked like it was done with AI CGI. I mean, it's a really cool, set piece, really good action, but with the combination of de-aged Jones, de-aged Mickelson. All those kind of things, along with the CGI planes and explosions and all, it just looked fake. It didn't look like a practical movie. It didn't look like it was actual people performing these stunts. It all looked like computer. And that was one of my complaints there. And that's at the beginning of the film. That's the first act, okay? So let's get past the first act. We get into the second and third act, pure Indiana Jones. Absolutely Indiana Jones. And I loved the story as it started to unfold. I liked the bad guys. I thought they were nefarious. There's a couple of complaints I'll get into here in a minute about the bad guys, but other than that, they were sinister. Mads Mikkelsen as the main antagonist, he's Mads Mikkelsen. He doesn't disappoint. He was really good. One of the things that I didn't like was Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Now, she's good. She's fun. But it felt like the story was more her globe-trotting adventures with Indiana Jones as her sidekick. And, that kind of takes you out of the whole Indiana Jones thing, theme. It's supposed to be his movie, not him playing second fiddle to some chick, But that's the way they made it. But, they still had Indiana Jones. They still had his arc, his magnum opus, if you will. We learned a few things about events that unfolded between Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny. We find out a few things about his family and things like that, and there's some heartstrings that get tugged in there, and that was pretty emotional, and I dug that because it gave depth to the film. It gave depth to Indiana Jones's character, something which Kingdom of the Crystal Skull didn't do. This felt more like a Last Crusade, with him and his father and that emotional moment they share, with the Holy Grail and his father almost dying and all that. It had that kind of emotional impact in it. And I dug that. I thought that made the movie, 10 times better. But again, it felt like it was mainly Phoebe Waller-Bridge's movie. the story overall was fun. It really was. It wasn't as preposterous as an alien crystal skull and all that. It was very grounded, but at the same time fantastical, when we get towards the end of it. Similar to Raiders of the Lost Ark, how, we open up the Ark of the Covenant and people start just melting, It's very similar to that with its supernatural element towards the end of the film. And I like that. I thought that was really good. There was some, there's the supporting cast from previous films like Jonathan Rhys Davies. I couldn't remember that guy's name. He's in there, and we've got Marion Ravenwood coming back a little bit, and we've got, some other Indiana Jones compatriots that come into the film, as well and help Indiana Jones out, and I loved that. I loved the way that the movie, it tied up Indiana Jones' story. It tied everything up and made it emotional, poignant, and they closed it out, in an awesome way. In fact, don't make any more. Please don't make any more. I don't care if you want to use CGI Harrison Ford, whatever. Stop making Indiana Jones. This was the perfect send-off. He's done. Let him be done. He's old. Let him rest. But yeah, I liked that. I liked the movie. I thought it was fun. Another thing, one of the things that I had a problem with was, we got our good villains, but, maybe I'm old. Maybe I've gotten jaded in my, because I've seen so many movies in my life, and I've seen so many, story arcs and this and that, and I've seen great villains, I've seen poor villains, but one of the things that always drives me crazy, and again, maybe it's because I'm jaded, maybe it's because I've seen too much in the real world to know that bad guys aren't going to sit there and talk your head off after you've given them what they want. They're going to shoot you, and you're going to be dead, and they're going to move on to their next objective. Okay? That's the one problem I had in this movie, was you have all these bad guys chasing Indiana Jones around. They're killing every extra that they come into contact with, but they ain't shooting Indy, and they ain't shooting the girl, and they have plenty of chances to do so. But they don't do it, and that totally takes me out of the immersion, because it'd be one thing if they, something plausible happened to make it where, our heroes don't get terminated. But it's not. It's like just silly happenstance situations that they magically get out of the situation, even though there's a gun to their head, or, somebody next to them just got shot. And the whole fact of the bad guys dragging them off, kidnapping them over and over again, and not, ending them it's just silly, and it doesn't make any sense. Because I live in the real world, and we all know that real bad guys in the real world, they don't have, 20-minute diatribes about their master plan or their, what Indiana Jones can do for them or tell them or whatever. No, they're going to get what they need, and they're going to kill you, and that's it. And that is one of my main problems with this film, is because we have a lot of instances of just happenstance. We survived by the skin of our teeth because something silly happened. It doesn't happen. And also, one of the main bad guys, Southern guy. Indiana Jones is famous for fighting Nazis. So, of course, that's what he's fighting in this. But we have a Southern gentleman played by Boyd Holbrook who, surprise, surprise, he's a Nazi racist. We find that out, and it's just that almost felt like a dig at Southern people. I know, and I'm probably just reaching for that, but that's really what it felt like. The way that they portrayed his character and made him seem, and then come to find out, he's in cahoots with the Nazis. It's just really? Southern people all racist and bigots? That's the way it felt. But, overall, this was a really, it was a good send-off for Indiana Jones. I don't want to say it was a really good movie, because it didn't blow me away, and there were quite a few discrepancies I had. But overall, I thought it was an entertaining movie. I thought it was well worth your time if you want to go check it out in the theater. It's definitely a theater experience if you can get around to it and get there to see it. And again, well worth your time. It's an excellent send-off for Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones. It's poignant, emotional, great story, fun action. My kid really liked it. That's always important. I have to remember that these movies aren't made for, me. They're not made for someone like me. They're made for kids, and they're kind of a family movie. So I have to remind myself of that. Is it as good as everybody's like out there like, oh my God, so amazing? It's good. It's fun. And you should definitely check it out, and I think you'd enjoy it if you do check it out. If you get to see it in the theater, definitely go and do that. But that's about it for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I give it a whopping 3.5 out of 5 stars. And check it out, guys. If you guys want to get connected with more Cinema Dolce 56 content, feel free to go to our Facebook group. Look us up over there with a little magnifying glass. Join up, participate in some of the discussions, and check out some reviews. And heck, post your own reviews and stuff. It's always good to have discussions with like-minded people. Guys, but as always, I'm going to keep making them. If you keep watching them, peace out. God bless. Love you guys.